What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 2, Episode 4, Friendships Roulette. This was a good episode, you guys. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it was a good episode for me. So, before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on the channel and are not already subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified of when I drop anything else. And let's go ahead and just discuss The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, you guys. So we picked this episode up with Meredith 2.0, aka, can't get my words out today, aka Lisa, talking to Big Meredith, right? So Lisa wants Meredith to go and continue to talk to Jen. I'm like, but Jen just gaslit the fuck out of her. Like, I'm with Meredith. I'm not gonna I'm disengaging because it's the lies and the deflection for me, which it really is. It's the lies and the deflection. So Meredith says, basically, I'm good on that, right? So then Lisa's sitting here making up all kind of excuses for Jen, and I'm just like, girl, the woman is on social media liking tweets about this woman's son. We all say it. Yes, Brooks is an adult, right? And like I said last week, Brooks has done nothing compared to the likes of hell, let's talk about what happened in New Jersey with wasn't it Ashley that drug Danielle Staub? Like, I don't know how many people watch all the Housewives franchises, but some of these kids have really gotten involved in the drama with their mothers. Brielle has gotten involved with the drama between Nene and Kim. Like I just said, Ashley drugged fucking Danielle's hair. She pulled Danielle's hair. That was Ashley, right, you guys? I think that was Ashley that pulled Danielle's fucking hair. And y'all talking about Brooks. Brooks just said all Brooks said was, I saw her vagina. What's so hurtful about saying a person? What's so hurtful about that, right? So then we see Whitney. So Whitney is telling Jen that she needs to own it, which she actually does. But Jen says, it's not even a tweet that I tweeted. Someone liked it. That's basically saying the same thing, because you do realize, like, I don't know, it took me a few years to realize it, right? Because my cousin, like, I can see some of the stuff that you like, right? I'm like, what do you mean? Whenever you like a tweet, right, you guys do know that if you're following me on Twitter, which, hey, speaking of Twitter, I had to get a new Twitter, you guys. They suspended my old Twitter because of what they called a hateful tweet. The tweet was, I said, and actually, I remember the tweet exactly. It said, you dumbass, B exclamation point TCH. So I didn't spell out bitch. It said that, and it said black on black crime is not real. Stop saying that stupid shit. Can you guys tell me what do you guys get out of where do you guys see the hate at? So yeah, my new Twitter, it is it's so the underscore. You guys remember the underscore was at the end of my at the end of JB Says What. Well, it's at the beginning now, so it's underscore JB Says What. So follow me on Twitter, you guys. If you were following me before, go back and follow me. Where we at? So yeah, when you like a tweet, if it populates if I'm following you and you like something, I'll see it on my timeline. It'll say Jen Shaw. It'll say Jen Shaw, right? It'll say Jen Shaw like this tweet. Oh God, I keep so yeah. Jen just lacks any awareness to own anything, right? So Jen says this is a double standard. I'm like, girl, what double standard is it? And she's talking about the fact that Brooks said he saw her vagina. That's not a double standard. It's not a double standard. So she got so upset that she told Lisa to shut up. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So then Whitney asked Lisa, like, why do you protect Jen? And she says, I'm not protecting Jen. I'm not protecting Jen. She says, I'm just trying to process and be logical. You're not doing either one of them. You're facilitating her bullshit. So Jen, annoying as hell, she was talking to Stu, and Stu was like, don't apologize. Stu, shut your ass up, because, you in the same boat with her right about now, so shut up. Stealing from old people. So she goes and she says that, she apologizes and she wants to talk to Brooks and that she'll handle it with her people. That was all you had to say in the beginning, right? But like I said, an apology without changed behavior is really just lip service, basically. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as the episode goes along. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Lisa, aka Meredith 2.0. So they gave Lisa the title of introducing us to the friend of the Housewives this season. So I'm like, oh wow. So she went over to her friend Sarah Jane's house, who, she's known for a few years because they have some mutual friends with each other. And then we met Angie, who is the friend of the Housewives, and I think I'm gonna like Angie. I think I tweeted. I don't know if I tweeted this or not. Right? I probably did. Probably didn't. It was either I tweeted it or it was in my head. But when we can do so, I've casted right. I'm casting right. Since we know that since more than likely Jenna's going to jail, right? Let's bring in Jenny, and let's bring in Angie, and we can have a full housewife, and then we can bring Sarah Jane in as a friend of the Housewives next season, season 3. So Lisa and Angie, they work together. They've known each other for 20 years, right? They worked in a call center with each other. And, Angie tells them, she's inviting all the women over to her house for charity for the LGBTQIA, for them, right? So Angie says that Whitney is coming, and she asks Lisa, like, what is your issue with Whitney, right? And she says there is no issue with Whitney. I'm like, there is an issue. You do have an issue with Whitney. Like, you've been talking about Whitney. There is definitely an issue with Whitney, right? You had an issue with them at the reunion, right? Her and Heather, you had an issue with them at the reunion. You dismissed them all last season, which to this day I still don't understand why she was so dismissive of Whitney and Heather, right? I just don't get it. Guys, I'm in my feelings, right, about Whitney, because I found out something about Whitney this past week, right? I did not know that Whitney was a you-know-who supporter. Nothing's wrong. I mean, I'm not passing judgment on the fact that you support him. That's on you. I still love you. Just don't say anything that's considered racist. If I ever hear anything that is racist from Whitney, I gotta cut my girl. But at this point, I still love Whitney despite the fact that she supports that trash-ass individual. But Lisa just sounds hella jealous of Whitney. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. It's just interesting, right? So let's move on, you guys. All right, guys, let's talk about Mary real quick, right? So one thing I want to say about Mary, I like when Mary doesn't have on her wig, her natural hair, her hair. It's curly and it's beautiful. I'm like, why doesn't Mary wear her hair down a little bit more, right? Because that is beautiful. Now, I will say in one of her interview looks, her hair is good, right? It's not bad, but it's okay. Then there's this one confessional look where her hair right here, it look like it's pushed back. I'm like, oh, Mary. But you actually know what that is? That's the same exact look. I think what may have happened is she may have been in that chair for too long, and her wig might have, kind of did a shift like what Karen's wig did on Real Housewives of Potomac season 3. So Meredith comes over to her house, and after she's just had one of them vampire facials, I just don't. I've been seeing those a lot, and I just don't understand people who keep getting them. That is just interesting. Is it so? If you guys know, let me know in the comment section. So with the vampire, is it your blood that they take? Where are they taking your blood and putting it on your face? Oh God, hell no. Just wouldn't do it. Absolutely not, right? So they talk about casino night, right? So Mary says that this will be her first time seeing Jen since New York. It's always interesting to me when they say New York. We all know that y'all went to y'all. Can they not say? Can they not say that they haven't saw each other since the reunion? Like, that's what I be thinking. Like, they always say we haven't saw each other since New York. So I'm like, are y'all not able to say we haven't saw each other since the reunion? Because I know Married to Medicine has said we haven't saw each other since New York. Real Housewives of Atlanta has done that. Potomac has done that, and now Salt Lake City. So I'm like, can y'all not say the last time we saw each other was when we were at the reunion? I always wonder that, right? So remember, at the reunion, Mary and Jen made up with each other because Jen apologized to Mary. But Mary says when she got back from New York that Jen was on Twitter. Jen is a Twitter thug. Jen was on Twitter. Now, see, that was disrespectful, right? We can all make our jokes about Mary and Robert Sr., right? I made my jokes last season, right? But at a certain point in time, I let it go, right? Because technically, let's be real. The man is not her grandfather. So she didn't marry her actual grandfather. She married her step grandfather. So there is no blood relation between those two people, right? I just found it quite odd, and I just found it a little disgusting, the fact that he was with your grandmother and then he was with you. That was just the only thing that I had an issue with. But Jen tweeted out how it's going. So she put a picture of this young girl and this older man. So you would think it would give you the vibes of a grandfather and his granddaughter. And then on the other side, Jen, you had the audacity. You had the audacity to take that photo of Mary from her past and put it on your Twitter. But you won't show us your old ass, your old face. And you sitting here looking like and you sitting around here looking like that thing from Saw. Forget what his name is, Jigsaw. You look like him. But girl, go to hell. So Mary asked her how it was, ice fishing, and Jen, Mary told her, not Mary, but Meredith told Mary about how ice fishing was, and that she apologized. She wants to talk to Brooks, and that she's gonna reach out. She's gonna talk to her team. One no team. It was Jen that liked the motherfucking tweets. It was Jen. And even if she didn't like those tweets, I'm pretty sure you went on your Twitter and you saw those tweets. Go to hell, Jen. Let's move on. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about Whitney. So we see Whitney, right? So she's meeting up with Angie, and we find out a little bit more about she and Angie. So they are distant cousins to each other, right? So then I was like, with the Mormon church, right? With the Mormons, were y'all swinging? Were y'all swingers or something like that? Because this religion the more you hear about people in this religion, it's just like, what the hell goes on behind closed doors with you people? And honestly, I don't want to know. But I'm just wondering that. So Angie says Lisa doesn't want for Angie to acknowledge, Whitney. She doesn't want her to be friends with Whitney. She doesn't want her to, to acknowledge that they're related to each other. I'm like, wow, what kind of friend is that? What kind of friend is that? So, and Lisa keeps saying she doesn't have an issue with Whitney, but obviously you do. If you sit here trying to, tell this woman who she can be friends with, who she can acknowledge as her relative, like, girl, I don't know you. I mean, yeah, we know each other for 20 years, but you don't dictate to me who I'm friends with, you don't dictate to that, right? So Whitney says, well, how does she feel about me and Heather coming to the party? She says, oh, she's not that happy. So then Angie says, and let me show you this, right? So she shows her a text message. So what happened was, with this party, I guess Lisa must have put her in touch with the caterers, right? So the caterers text her 5 hours after that meeting that she had at Sarah Jane's house, right? And the caterers basically told her that they were going to have to pull out of her, her event, because she said that Lisa's assistant reached out to them. That's tacky as hell, right? That is tacky. Y'all must don't like money. That's all I can think of. Y'all must really don't like money. Because I'm not going to pull out because of someone I work close with, and she has an issue with someone that's coming to your party, and her assistant gonna be like, oh, hey, so that party that Angie is having, don't cater that party. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck you mean don't cater that part? That she's paying me good money for that. Well, unless you're gonna double it, then I'll cancel. But if you're not paying me, well, even if you double it, I'm still gonna cater it. Like I'm like, well, if you double it, I'll cancel. Lying like a motherfucker, right? But that's money. So you want me to cancel on the party because your boss has an issue with two people that are coming to this party. Is that what I'm understanding? Yes. I will tell the assistant, you and Lisa both can go to hell. Like, that's bad business. I'm not about to cancel an event because you got an issue with someone. Because then, I mean, have you guys never heard of Yelp reviews? Like, have you guys never heard of Yelp reviews? Word of mouth reviews. So if someone hears this and they be like, and my company is attached to this, they be like, oh, so you canceled on her because of that? How did that have anything to do with you? And I'd be like, you know what? It didn't have anything to do with me, and I didn't cancel. I made her believe I canceled, but I was actually there. It's stupid when you literally just boil it down. But let's move on. Is this off? No. All right, guys, let's talk about the party, right? The party was really, her home is nice. The party was really nice, right? So all the ladies start showing up to the party for casino night, right? I didn't like Jenny's hair. That was it. I didn't like her hair. But everyone looks good. Even Mary looked nice. Her wig was a little flat. Actually, her wig was hella flat. So, Meredith 2.0, she walked in, right? Walked right up to Jenny, gave Jenny a hug. Meanwhile, who's standing right beside Jenny? Whitney. John spoke to Whitney, and Whitney was trying to talk to to Lisa, and she walked away. I'm like, that's rude. But you don't have a problem with her. Remember that, right? I would have, after that, I'm like, you know what? She just gave me her ass to kiss. I'm not kissing it, so she can go to hell, right? So we find out a little bit more about Angie and her husband, right? So they have I don't want to say this. He said it, so I'm gonna go off of what her husband Chris said. I think that's his name. He said that they have a trans son. I believe that's what he said. So at this point, they're not part of the Mormon faith because the Mormons don't understand or accept, anyone within the community, right? So they say until they are, they have the same rights as everyone else, that they're not going to be a part of the faith, and I respect that, right? So then Jen takes her ass over to Mary, saying that they should get the family together. I was like, huh? Even Mary looked at her funny, like, girl, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, you should bring, we should get the guys, Sharif, over and Robert, and we could like have a cook-off. I was looking at her like, girl, for what? So you can burn me? No. I love the fact that that Mary didn't waste no time. She was like, I thought me and you had made up at, in New York, right? But then I get back home and I see a tweet that you made about how it started versus how it's going, and it was directed at me. Like, I just get the impression that you don't like me. So then Jen, once again, is gaslighting. She pretends like she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. I'm like, oh my God. I could not have a conversation with that woman because I would be like, you know what? Let me exit stage left before I say something to you. Say something. I'm going to say something to you. Yeah, I'm going to say something, and I probably might touch you. I know I was talking about that in Housewives of Potomac, but it's not words. She's not saying things. It's her actions. It's like you are playing stupid. You are gaslighting me. Like, don't make me feel like I'm crazy. Like, I don't like that. Don't make me feel like I'm crazy because I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I cannot deal with this shit. Like, I would go off on Jen. Like, you are lying. So then we see Angie. So Angie pulls Lisa to the side and she tells her about what happened with, the catering company. And she says that, your assistant reached out to them and told them to cancel, right? And she says, well, I don't know what that has to do with me. Girl, she just told you that your assistant reached out to them, and you don't know what that has to do with you. So Lisa was deflecting, and somehow out of the blue she mentioned Whitney, and she's like, I'm really upset. I'm really upset. I'm really upset with no tears. Girl, shut up. So she felt some type of way when Angie told her that she talked to some of her friends and Whitney, and they all believed that Lisa had something to do with it. She's like, you talked to Whitney and didn't talk to me. Yeah, the fuck? Yo, this text message says that your assistant reached out to them. Why am I gonna call you? I'm gonna be pissed off. If I call you, I'm gonna go off on you. So Whitney comes in. What are you doing here, Whitney? She's like, do you want me to leave? She says, yes. But I'm glad Whitney didn't get up and leave. But Lisa literally sat there and made that whole thing all about her. I was like, girl, deflection at its best, right? But that's the episode, you guys. It was a pretty good episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I'm dropping else. Share the video. And until the next one, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye, guys.